Hello everyone and welcome. We are at Assen in the Netherlands for round 5 of the URL-GT1 championship. Looking at the qualifying results, it was Peter Bacchus in the Saleen taking pole position with a 155.3, just in front of Mikko Korkiakowski. Reinhard Berger and Michal Klisch will start from the second row. Looking further down, we see Anze Ras taking a comfortable pole in AM Cup in P14 overall. Fabio Bartolai and Farhan Ahmad Tajuddin were in 17th and 19th. Sando Donadel, Manlio Liguori, they were both serving a no-qual penalty from last race. So let's jump right into it. Here is the start of the race. So here we are looking down on the grid and riding on board with Robert Horvat starting from P10. Everyone gets away. Miguel Olsen has a bit of a slide. 4 wide already. Just in front of Robert. Very fast sweeping turns here at the start. A bit of bumping and grinding, but Robert goes in the middle for a 3 wide. Going through turn 1. Pretty clean for him. And good battle there in front of him between Greg Metcalf and Alex Scott now. Here they are, still side by side, just behind Tony, Alex and Greg, and Alex gets in front for the moment with Robert Horvat getting up to P8. Then Verhenkut's Alex Funnel, 2 teammates, followed by Ruan Joubert. Then it's Miguel Santiago Carou. He has a bit of a gap in front and behind. Anze Rast made it up to P13 for the lead of the AM Cup, followed by Fabio Bartolai, who now spins off the track unfortunately. Mike Greatrix, Manlio Liguori, Vladimir Jedicic. And it's Farhan also going off the track, Angelo Guidici, Fabio and Sando here, teammates battling, and Sten, Miguel Olsen and Damir Horvat are in last positions. Final turn for Mikko Korkiakowski of the first lap. Mikko took the first position into turn 1, and you can see the whole grid flashing by while you can see the standings on the left. Unfortunately, we will lose Ruan Joubert due to a connection problem, so he will fall to the back of the grid. He's currently in P11. That F40 from Damir is not looking pristine anymore, but this was the whole field. Greg Metcalf was in a battle with Alex Scott in the first stint. Here he gets side by side, going into the last sector of the track, but he can't get by unfortunately. So very close racing here on this tight and twisted track. You can clearly see that there's almost no way for Greg to pass, so you'll have to be patient and hope for a mistake. Just behind those two, it's Miguel Santiago Carou and Robert Horvat, who makes a mistake here and loses P8 to Miguel. And Alex Scott, under pressure from Greg still in the first stint. Unfortunately, he will make a mistake, goes straight at the final chicane, spins and barely doesn't hit Miguel Santiago Carou. Throughout the whole first stint, Peter Bacchus will be hounding Mikko Korkiakowski. Peter was on pole. Let's ride with them for one whole lap, looking back from Mikko's Viper. And Peter has some speed, but at the moment he can't really make any move. It was crucial for Mikko to get into P1 at the start, and that's what he did. If you missed that, you can recheck the start of the race. Mikko took the inside line for turn 1 and got his move done, and it's now Peter who has to chase, and Reinhard Berger is right behind them, so not a lot between them. The gap between Mikko and Peter will not grow over 1 second in the whole first stint, so a lot of pressure here for Miko. He will want to do well to round up the first half of the season. Here we are in the last part of the track. Some difficult low speed corners, second gear, and Peter is right on Miko's tail, but it seems he's not fast enough in the right places to make any move. Of course, there's always still the pit stops where you can win or lose some. Tire wear is not too high here, so there will certainly be guys trying to double stint the tires. Let's see how that pans out. Alex Funnel here is in P18, and he's in a battle with Fabio Bartolai just in front of him, who makes a bit of a mistake. And Mike Greatrix is right in front of them, so throughout the whole field it's very close, but no real on-track battles with passing and repassing due to the nature of the track. It's all about keeping it on the tarmac. Alex made a bit of a mistake, but he seems to be able to stay in front. Yes, he can. So P17 and P18 for Fabio Bartolai in the AM Cup. Coming up to the pit stops, it's still Miko in front of Peter. The gap, as I said, not very big. Then Reinhard Berger is also quite close, 5 seconds behind these guys. Michal Klisch had an uneventful first stint, but comfortably in 4th position. Then it's Tony Ukic, Greg Metcalf, who got the position from Alex. Then in P7 it's Miguel. We also saw him passing Robert Horvat here in P8, and Alex Scott fell back to P9 at the moment. So the round of pit stops coming up, and Florian Kutz and Zerast still in the first position of the AM Cup. Sten Mikkel Olsen and Damir Horvat battling it hard. Viper versus Ferrari, so good battle, but no passing at this point. And it's Vladimir Jelicic in the P2 for AM Cup. Then it's Mario Liguori lapping Farhan Ahmad Tajuddin, Fabio Bartolai 16th. Alex Funnel in 17th, so he ended up back behind Fabio, and Mike also ended up behind Fabio. Then it's Sando in 19th, Farhan in 20th position, and Angelo Guidici in 21st. So we skip to the end of the race. Miko double stinted his tires, just as Reinhard Berger did, and he's behind him, for some 4 seconds behind him. So he couldn't get close to him in the second stint. Peter Bacchus is right behind Reinhard, as we see here in the last lap. He did change tires, and he's closing down the gap rapidly to Reinhard. Let's see if he can reclaim his second position, or if he will have to settle for third spot on the podium. So as we predicted, some guys are double stinting, and it's the front runners who are taking the risks here, which proves that it's always very close here at the front. People are having to take risks to get track position, and that's what's most important here on this track. So Reinhard will indeed keep P2, and Peter will finish in position number 3. Very close call for Reinhard, so the tire strategies really equaled it out at the end, and they will finish half a second apart. Michal Klisch had an uneventful second stint as well, so good result for him. Here we see battle for P5, Tony Ukic. So Miguel Santiago Carou, he ended up jumping Greg Metcalf in the pits, and he closed down the gap to Tony. He was some 6 seconds in front after the pit stops. This is how they will finish. So last lap, first time Miguel gets this close, and they will finish 0.2 of a second apart. So very nice. And behind it's Greg Metcalf, as we said. So 5 or 6 seconds behind these two battling. Then Florian Kutz was hounding Alex Scott. Was a little bit faster throughout the second stint. And unfortunately on the very, very last lap still, it's Alex making a small mistake, spinning the tires and handing Florian P8. Then it's Damir Horvat making up the top 10 of the race. Then it's Anze Rast. He finished first in the AM Cup, so very good result for him. Then it's Fabio Bartolai, Mike Greatrix, Vladimir Jelisic in P3 for the AM Cup. Fabio Bartolai was in second. Then it's Sando Donadel in P15. Alex Funnel in P16. Angelo Guidici will finish the race as well in P17. We see Mike Greatrix there stuck on the track. Farhan in P18. Then it's Steen. He retired from the race, unfortunately, together with Robert, Fabio. And here are the full results. So we have 5 non-finishers: Farhan, Robert, Steen, Fabio and Ruan. And as we see at the front, Reinhard and Peter finishing under a second from each other. Tony and Miguel as well, 0.2 apart. So it was a very close race. Not a lot of real action, but a very good race for some good points on a difficult and technical track. Looking back to the AM Cup, as I said, Anze Rast in P1, then Sando in P2 in the AM Cup, and Vladimir in P2 and Sando in P3, so I misspoke earlier. Fabio Bartolai is in 21st position. He ran out of fuel just in front of his pit strategy. So that was it for round 5 at Assen. Next race will be GT3 round 5, half of the season at Rockingham. So see you there next week on Tuesday night at unitedracersleague.com.